Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Helki, and today I just wanted to pop on quickly and do, I guess, a little bit of a walkthrough. I don't do them often on my channel, but if you watch my channel regularly, you know for my job I have a working deck. This is my working deck, and yes, it is the original boring Right Away that's too yellowy and is the committer of many crimes, and people don't like this deck, okay? But basically you can see it's all discolored and a bit tatty, and it shuffles so well, and this is why it's my working deck. I just have such a strong connection with it, and I like to shuffle really fast like this, even faster sometimes, and then I wait for cards to jump out, and that's how I get my best readings. So with all the decks that I have, if you've not seen my deck collection video, then check that out, and I'll also add up in the iCard of this video my most recent additions to my deck collection because it's grown since that video. I went down to Watkins Bookshop and had a lovely day. Oh, I was interrupted there, but as I was saying, I went down to the Watkins Bookshop in London with my friend Steph, my partner Trey, and her partner Darren, and we had a lovely day out, and I picked up my new deck. So I only wanted a working deck because I've been getting a lot of decks recently and realizing, like, okay, for what I mostly use tarot for is for work, right? And I've been just using my working deck for that, and any of my new decks, like, or you know, I haven't really given them a chance, but basically I need to be doing readings very quickly for my job. So the Rider-Waite system is just like what I need right now until I really know a deck as well as I know this. I just don't feel comfortable when I'm having to do very quick readings using anything else. So naturally, not very surprisingly, I wanted my new working deck to be another Rider-Waite deck. And you'll know from my deck collection, I have a lot of Rider-Waite decks actually. I have this one. I have this like thicker one. I forgot the name of it, but it's in my deck collection. And then I think it's called the Centennial or something like that. One that my partner Trey gave me that was his, and then I have the mini one of that I used in my recent quartz video. It's like the mini version of that. So I have a lot of Rider-Waite decks, but you know, you can never have too many. And it wasn't that I was looking for a Rider-Waite deck or anything, but I just happened to find one that called to me, and I was like, this could be a new working deck, because I do want to work with another deck, even if it's still Rider-Waite. Like, I don't know, some people, I don't mind having like an old, very worn in deck or anything, but you know, it's just nice to have some new energy, some new options, something slightly different to look at. I got the Wiser Tarot, which is just a different way of colouring the Rider-Waite deck, I guess. So it's a lot more inclusive. You know, you've got more variation of races, which is nice, but it is basically just the Rider-Waite symbol, images. And it's not just like, okay, you know, we've got different colours, skins and different people, but sorry, a bit rude of my partner Trey. I'm obviously boring him, so hopefully, hopefully I'm not boring you. You know, it's not very good for my confidence right now, but you know, I know you guys are probably actually interested in what tarot deck I got, so sorry you have to overhear this. We're working in the same room right now, so that's why he's suffering this. So this is the deck. I love the backs. I love the blues. And actually, I think I might turn this around so that you can get a good look at the cards with me. Let's do that. Okay, so hopefully the light isn't too bright. Actually, I think I can turn it down a bit. So let's do that. think that's a little bit better, so we can really get a look at the color. So it really reminds me. Okay, so I will have to be quick because I'm running low of space on my phone, but as I was saying, I do love the backs. They give me a very watercolor vibe, so without the light kind of reflecting on them, I guess you can see. I love the pale blue backs. You know, I had blue backs already, so you know, blue's not even really one of my go-to colors, but something very comforting about the blue when I'm doing tarot. And you know what, thinking about it, there could be a connection there with my throat chakra. When I first started reading tarot, the message used to channel through my throat chakra, and it was the most unusual sensation, and it took me a while to get out of that, and I wouldn't even mind still doing it. I keep getting interrupted today, so I will try and get this done, get a look through here. But yeah, the blue, very interesting how I've been very drawn to it as my main deck with my connection with the throat chakra. And if you want me to talk about that more in videos and how it feels and different stages I've gone through while working with the tarot, and how, you know, you go different ways we channel our messages, right? Anyway, these are the cards. I do feel like the color is a little washed out, but to be honest, it's got that kind of vibe. It's like this purple blue wash, like over top of all the colors, and so the color mixes look very different in this deck compared to normal. And if I'd actually planned, I could have, you know, done them card by card comparisons, but you know, like my decks are all shuffled up and that would take way too long. But you can I'll sort of leave these spread out in the background so you can see the real difference in colors. And even that, here we are, we found the right card. Very different colors. So the colors in this are a lot more cool. So it's a cool toned color palette, whereas I would say these are much more warmer tones. Like even the blue, it's a very warm greeny blue, right? So much cooler colors with the blues and the purples, you see? Like very different. Really different vibe, but more vibrant as well. So these ones, this old deck is much more muted. But so far, I'm really loving working. I really like this Ace of Pentacles, you know, with the green. I really do feel like green represents the Pentacle suit. So I love that. And the orange and red really represent the wands, so I feel like they've really played into that. Very orangey and red for the wands. And if you can see, it does have this like watercolor feeling, and watercolor is my favorite art form, well, like for paintings anyway. So overall, the colors are popping for me. So I'm really loving this new fresh take on the Rider-Waite, with the very kind of the blue wash, the purpley wash. Like even here, there's not, you know, that he has a blue jacket, but you can feel there is this kind of like grey, blue, purpley wash over each of the cards. Here, like even the silvers of the blades have this like purple tint to them. It's very cool. I love it. I absolutely love this Six of Swords card. And this was the first card I saw in this deck when I opened up the box. And I really fell for it when I saw this with those shades of purple. It really brought some depth to the meaning of the Six of Swords for me. Like don't you just feel this really adds to the mood of the Six of Swords compared to the original? And I do adore this image for the Six of Swords. I just feel like it really sums up the image sums up the Six of Swords energy completely. I can't find the other one, but yeah, this is probably my favorite Six of Swords card I've ever seen. I love it. And I know a lot of people who are not as connected with the Rider-Waite images might just think, oh my God, what are you talking about? But I love, you see how we're changing up the people more. We have more variations of race, hair colors. There's a lot of redheads in this deck, which is cool. They don't get enough representation. So really we are here just looking at the choices of colors and what kind of shift that brings to the deck. I definitely think it makes a big difference in the deck. It definitely shifts the energy, and I do feel like I'm getting such a different kind of read on the cards than I would with my normal working deck. So I'm not just gonna praise it completely, because I do have some issues with this deck. Today was the first day I used it at work, and okay, most of my readings today at work I use this deck, but I'm not gonna lie, towards the end I just was reaching for my old deck again and using that, but only for like the last 10%. So I feel like this deck held up pretty well. Normally, I'll be lucky if a different deck would make it through a whole reading these days, because I've just got so comfortable with my working deck. I love this very subtle rainbow in the watercolor style. Like it's almost not there, the rainbow, and I actually really like that, because that says a lot. You know, that gives me a new look at this energy. It's not all sunshine and rainbows in your face. You know, sometimes you have to stay and squint a bit, maybe to see what's there. Adds definitely a different take on the card. I feel like this is a lot more colourful than it normally is for the Five of Cups, which is cool to see. Again, much more colourful for the Three of Swords. And again, that's given me, you know, a different take, different kind of depth to the message that I can bring to the client. These warm ones are just perfect. Warm ones, and these green pentacles, the blues in the sword, in the cups, and the purples in the swords. Did notice that we're getting more like purple tones in the swords, more blues in the cups. See, purple, and I like that theming. I feel like purple goes so well with sword energy. Beautiful greens. So yeah, if you watch my video, I'll add that in the iCard about using colors in a tarot reading and reading colors intuitively, because I feel like even I could revisit that and revisit that video and kind of play around with this deck and its colors like that. So there's all the cards I have in a walkthrough. I feel like I am giving a bit of a review here. I have used it all day. And actually, it wasn't the first time I used it. I used it for a half work day, the day before yesterday. So I have actually worked with it quite a bit. And so far, I'm really enjoying it, and I am going to go over, once I finish this, just the one issue I'm having with it that is making the full transition from this deck to this deck a little bit tricky. It comes down to the shuffle. Basically, it's a great deck, great size. Is it a little bit smaller than my one? No, it's exactly the same size. don't know why it feels a tiny bit smaller, but it's literally not. It's the same size. It's the texture. So I don't know what it is. It seems like normal playing card texture to me, but this feels a tiny bit more robust, and it's almost just like they've used slightly different paper or something. I feel like maybe it has a tiny bit more of a shiny quality to this deck, like a tiny bit more glossy, and this has this kind of slightly matte texture. It isn't quite rose petal, but it definitely has like this, you hear like that rose petal texture. You see, like, you don't hear it. It's definitely got that, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not the best card stock critic. So when I'm shuffling, sometimes my thumb flusters like that because of the and then sometimes I'll be really trying to get my messages really quick because I'm being paid by the minute. So see there, nothing's happening. It's like I suddenly lose my grip there again. See, that kept happening today, which was frustrating, really frustrating. And it's one of the main reasons I stick with one working deck, and not just the images, but because of the shuffle. Even like there, it's like my thumb doesn't grip, where here, look, my thumb is gripping. So that is literally my only criticism of this deck so far, is I just wish the texture of that was the same as this. And I can see we've got a bit more gloss of a finish, I think, right? Yeah, see that gloss on this side? That reflection is a little bit more harsh than this side. It's so subtle. But when you're working with a deck in the way I do, which is a lot with fast shuffling, this stuff matters. So I rarely, if not never, have that problem with this deck. Oh, the deck's falling out now, but that's my fault as the shuffler. And we see all these cards are jumping out. These are cards I would be using in my reading. And also how they land is important. This one landed face up. Likely it's obvious energy that people know about. This one's sideways. This is not upside down nor upright. Sideways. And all of these are more hidden energies, unexpressed energies within energy. So you can see how I'm reading not just the cards that come up, but how they landed. These were like this. These were sideways. This was face up. This alone is telling me a lot about the story. Already stuff is unfolding. Even as I'm shuffling the deck, the way it shuffles tells me if like it's a tough shuffle, nothing's coming out, then it's very closed energy I'm tapping into. Okay, so anyway, it's not about that, this video. It's a walkthrough. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. At the moment, I'm really loving this deck. I love it a lot. My one criticism is the cardstock, and it's not even bad because I love the cardstock to look at. I love the cardstock feeling in my hands. If I was just doing a reading for myself or a friend, I would have no issue with this cardstock, but literally as a working deck where I need to shuffle the cards very quick, that is the only fault it's having right now, which I'm hoping, I was saying to Trey, like, I'm hoping if I can just get it like greasy with my like natural oils from my hands like over a while, it will become a lot easier to shuffle, as I truly believe that's what happened with this deck. I don't believe this was always an easy deck to shuffle. It was never as buttery and nice to work with as it is now, and I do believe that's because it's a very old deck. As you can see, it's pretty grubby, but that's what makes it such a joy to work with. So I'm hoping over time I'll get the same results with this. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think of the Weezer or Wiser Tarot? I will let you know how much I like this deck. Is they have a lot of decks at Watkins, and they only had one of this deck left. It was still the sample deck. So the shop sample deck that everyone was looking at for God knows how long. This deck was sitting in that shop as the sample deck, and I bought it. I got 10% off though, so that's pretty cool. So I don't know when this came out, but anyway, I'm sure it's been around for a while. I feel like I've seen it around before, but you know, this was the time for me to buy it, and I'm really happy with it. Let me know your thoughts if you have a copy, if you're planning on getting a copy, and let me know if you have any other questions for any future videos, anything you'd like me to cover in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.